Hey guys, and welcome back to another super fresh video. I'm Plant Eats, and this is the Plant Eats YouTube channel, and I'm so happy you decided to click on this little video today. Today we're going to take a little bit of a walk away from the ethics of plant-based eating, and we're going to focus more on nutrition, the health side of it, because I know that appeals to a lot of you. And before I get into some facts and figures, which I will warn you, some of you I know do eat some meat, some of you are reducitarians, and the objective here is not to insult you. It's to present information to you so you can make the best decisions for yourself. So with that, I'll proceed. Let me start by saying this. I became vegan about 6 years ago, and it happened instantaneously. I know that doesn't happen for everybody, but for me, as soon as I learned the information I needed to confirm that it was healthy, I did it in a heartbeat. I'm going to back this up about 10 to 12 years ago, and I came across The Omnivore's Dilemma by Michael Pollan. I'm sure you guys are fully aware of that. And one day shortly after that, I was in Costco and I had my own Omnivore's Dilemma. I was buying chicken, you know, the 4-pack for 20 bucks, and this value pack turned into sort of a pack of horrors in my mind. It was just the imagery of factory farming was in my mind, and I just couldn't get beyond how poorly treated these animals were for a piece of chicken occasionally. So that sort of got the ball rolling for me. And then I was getting deeper into my yoga practice, and I felt like the cruelty in my life was in my heart, and I just couldn't be as open and honest with my own personal yoga practice if I was eating animals. While at the same time I was getting older. At the time I was in my 40s and I was concerned about heart health. There was heart disease in my family, and I really wanted to avoid that. What I was aiming to do was to reduce as much as possible all animal foods in my diet so as to maintain nutritional health. And this is an interview with Dr. Kim Williams. He is a cardiologist in the United States. He's the former president of the American College of Cardiologists. Let's hear what he has to say about the least amount of animal products necessary to be healthy.
There are no safe animal products because everybody wants to eat a fish or eat a chicken, instead of meat and think that they're healthy. They are better off. They're way better off. If the whole country would stop eating hot dogs and ham and start eating hamburger, the difference between red meat and processed red meat is absolutely huge. But there are no safe animal products. All of them will increase your mortality by some degree. The question is, how much is that degree?
So you heard it from him. There are no safe levels of animal products, according to a cardiologist, according to a former president of the American College of Cardiology. There is word out there on the street that you should have some animal products in your diet in order to have a well-rounded diet, right? That's the big thing. So what about vegetarians? I mean, vegetarians eat eggs. What about that? So let's hear what he has to say about eating eggs.
The other surprise was that eggs were worse than processed red meat in cancer. And processed red meat is on the World Health Organization's carcinogen list. Class 1 carcinogen, and eggs were worse. But all of them pretty much were on the side of producing heart disease. The eggs didn't reach statistical significance, probably because so many people died of cancer and dead people don't have heart attacks. But when you added all up the data, all-cause mortality, there were no safe animal products.
Now, cancer was never something that I was thinking about. I never linked cancer to meat. I never linked cancer to dairy products or eggs. But it appears as though there is a relationship between eating eggs and cancer. What I want to present to you next is information that came out in 2015, and this was released by the World Health Organization, the IARC. This was work done by 22 experts around the world, not one country, but many, many countries. And what they did was they went through all the literature, and they discovered that eating processed meat was cancer-causing. It is a carcinogen. They're putting it in the same classification as smoking and asbestos. And the other finding was that red meat, that's beef, pork, and lamb, is a likely carcinogen. They weren't looking at it from a cardiovascular perspective. They're looking at it from a cancer perspective. And the cancers that were associated with these foods were colorectal cancer, pancreatic cancer, and prostate cancer. And these are cancers that run in my family. And people that I love have died of these cancers. So then the next question that people ask is, well, what's a safe level of red meat? And to me, it's not even a question. I mean, as soon as you tell me that these things are associated with cancer, you've said enough. But for some people, they're really hung on to these things. And so according to the World Health Organization, they don't know. They have no answer. There is no safe level established. And there are so many other things associated with getting rid of animal foods in your diet, one of which is blood pressure. I know that for me, blood pressure was a problem for a period in my life. It's no longer a problem, but let's listen to him and hear what he has to say about this as well.
But there is one thing that I should talk about, and that is blood pressure. It's in our guidelines now because we've got enough data. Mostly Neil Barnard's group took the entire world's literature on plant-based nutrition or randomized trials and add them up, and you have a substantial effect. So I cut back on my sodium intake, and my blood pressure went down to about 125, 128. When I went vegan, even though I'm getting older, my blood pressure went to 104, and that's where it stays.
So it appears to be becoming more and more evident every day, guys. The writing is on the wall. A plant-based diet seems to be the way to go, as far as I can tell. Now, some of you are like me, and you do like to have junk food every now and then. I think if you're a healthy person, and I consider myself a healthy person, then I think I deserve the occasional unhealthy treat. And about a week ago, I was in Toronto, Canada, and I attended the Vegandale Veggie Fest, and I was also in Parkdale. A strip of Parkdale, which is West Queen Street in Toronto, is becoming known as Vegandale. And I was at Doomie's, and if you guys are from Toronto or know Toronto, you'll know Doomie's very well. You'll also know that Doomie's has amalgamated with the Vegandale brewery there, and they've just got an amazing setup, and of course I like beer as well. So I sat there and I had myself a plant-based Big Mac, and it was so delicious. And I thought I would eat half of it. You know, I'm trying to be, health conscious, but I couldn't help myself. I ate the whole thing. And I also had one of their flights. I had 4 different kinds of their beers there. It was so delicious. And Vegandale is a funny little place there in Toronto because it is a sign of the times. You've got locals there up in arms because they feel as though it's infringing upon old Parkdale. But remember, this is venture capitalists throwing money at veganism. And this says it all. So you can look at the research, but follow the money. The money never lies. And this is showing us that people are hearing the information. That research is getting out to people. People know that this is the way of the future, and the money is following it. So I just wanted to share with you guys some highlights of my trip to the Vegandale Festival. It was a beautiful sunny day. I'm pretty certain that a lot of the people there aren't necessarily strict vegans, but it just goes to show that even people that aren't strict vegan are out to support their vegan friends, and because they know that their heart's in the right place, and the goal is to reduce animal suffering and to promote a healthier form of eating. And this sort of brings me to the last little thing I want to mention, which is a story that's coming out of Amsterdam, I believe. There was a veggie fest there, a vegan fest, and some goon, sorry, I hate to throw names at people, but I thought it was a goon stunt. This person actually has a channel on this platform. He decided to take a great big piece of raw meat, bloody the whole thing, and eat it outside the gates of this veggie fest. I totally believe in democracy. I believe in peaceful protest. He has every right to stand outside the gates and do exactly what he did. But you'd hope that his parents who brought him up would look at that and think, oh gosh, where did we go wrong? Because to me that shows such poor character. And these festivals are not to push anything on anybody. Leave your comments down below. This is where I'm going to leave you guys today. I'm leaving here in literally 10 minutes. I'm on a train to Montreal, Canada. I'm so excited about it. I'm going to go to some vegan restaurants there, and I will share with you guys some footage from Montreal. And I look forward to seeing you right back here in a few days' time for another super fresh video.